Welcome to Pembrey for TTXGP UK round 3 of the championship, and as we line up the bikes there, it's been a very mixed weather day. Yesterday was a very rainy qualifying session, so today the weather certainly improved, but the teams are still very keen to keep the heat in the tyres there. The leader of the pack, here we are, number 63, is James McBride, has really been putting in a phenomenal amount of performance with Man TTX, followed very closely by Jenny Tinmouth there at number 77 in the blue bike. There next to that we have Pete Ward on the electric Hussar, and then Adam Parferman with Kingston, followed very closely at the back with Harry Hardy, Annie Seal, Darryl Harrison and Ross Licence, with Rob Moon leading up the rear. So the grid is now hot, the flag is up, and we're away. A fast jackrabbit start there in fact by both the Mavizens there. They're taking a very rapid firstly. Annie Seal there coming back all the way from the back of the grid, and now heavily into the first turn at Hatchett's hairpin, and a quick look back there from Pete Ward as they start the race.
Yeah, and you could see there that the Mavizen bikes really shot off the line really quickly. That was probably due to they've got slightly better acceleration and slightly better top speed than all the other bikes, even though they're using the same motors as most of the bikes. You can see Pete Ward there definitely in the lead, and he's already opened up a bit of a gap there.
So here we are now with Pete Ward on the Mavizen, just really taking the lead now. Heavy braking there as he moves now out of the Brooklands hairpin onto the Speedway straight, followed very closely there by Jenny. And in fact, there's a pack there of 4 which is broken away from the rest of the field. So where we have Pete Ward followed by, who's that there, Jenny Tinmouth on the Team Agni, followed by Man TTX, James McBride. And leading up the rear of that pack is Rob Moon on the second Agni. A very disappointing qualifying session, but really now coming back and in the leading pack there. So there doesn't seem to be much in it. You can see the heavy braking going on there from Jenny. Her back wheel literally lifted off the ground. But we're now back on board with Jenny and following Pete Ward there in the electric Hussar. Moving around as we go through the rapid series of bends, up through Woodlands and coming up to the Honda curve there.
Yeah, they're coming through the S's now, and Pete Ward is in the lead. They've just set their first lap. The first lap for Pete Ward was 1:16, so that includes the obviously starting on the start line. So we'll watch that come down by maybe 3 or 4 seconds as they go in.
Oh, someone's come down. Who's that?
That's Ross Licence for MRB. It's a real shame for him. He was really wanting to have a good weekend this weekend. I know they made some changes on the bikes.
MRB, of course, a team of engineers from Network Rail have got together to put in a team and take part in this historic championship series. So sorry to see them. Oh, golly, I gotta be sorry again.
Yeah.
See that. So yellow flag is up. We're on a different part of this course now as we coming up to the park straight now into the Hatchett's hairpin, and it still looks like Pete Ward leading with Jenny second and James McBride third, with Moon fourth.
Yeah, these guys have now put in their second and third laps all around 1:10, just under 1:10. James McBride pulling a 1:09.73 on that second lap.
Looks like a thrilling race though, turn by turn, wheel by wheel. They're really, James there spinning out through the outside, really pulling down the power but keeping the bike together as they're entering in the Brooklands hairpin and into the Speedway straight. And Jenny now just nipping in, pushing Pete Ward into third. Rob Moon now watching from the back, but very close racing there. So we have McBride, Ward, Tinmouth, Moon as we now move into Woodlands through the Honda curve and are coming back into the park straight past the start finish line.
Yeah, you saw there the fighting between Pete Ward and Jenny Tinmouth, very close on that Honda curve coming out there. Pete just had to pick the bike up a little bit and just not to, in order not to run Jenny off the road there.
McBride though seems to be pulling away. I think he's about half a second now ahead of the pack. But the P2, P3, P4, that's Ward, Tinmouth and Moon very close together now, but they seem to be changing positions literally turn by turn. The camera goes away, comes back, and it's like a new order. Extraordinary.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, they all seem to be together. They're all doing about 1 minute 9.6. James McBride is about a half a second quicker, so he's really starting to pull away now.
But there we saw something really out of a movie there. The black Mavizen just slipping in and out from the in between the two blue Agnis. But now the Mavizen again now leading just for this turn, it would appear. Passing start finish line again, very close. They keep Pete Ward keep giving a quick look.
It's this lap award.
So James McBride there, unless something super spectacular happens and he can keep it together, looks on track to be taking this race. But we're still a long way to go. Here we are now with Team Tork, the boys from Pune, who were the winners from the round 1 in Snetterton, but have made a number of improvements, but right now seem to be in 5th place. So we'll see how their fortunes change over the course of the race. This Pembrey course, of course, seems to be a good mix between a technical course with a lot of bends and turns and elevations, coupled with some quite impressive straights. So it's really testing the riders and the machines across a complete spectrum of capabilities.
And here they are lapping Harry Hardy. Harry Hardy actually qualified for acceleration. Rob Moon is able to catch up under brakes into the hairpins, and then Pete manages to obviously catch up accelerating with that much more speedy Mavizen.
So here we have Annie Steele there. Oh, she may have a technical problem on her Mavizen TTX02. She's coming into for a pit stop. So we'll find out what the problem is at the end of the race. But right now we're back to the action, and here with Team Tork. A very light bike, and very small looking compared to the others, but don't underestimate its performance. It's the race that we put in at Snetterton round 1 between that bike and Jenny Tinmouth on the Team Agni was really impressive dueling. So clearly maybe it's suffering some kind of technical problem, but that bike certainly is very capable.
Yeah, I know they replaced the front forks, front wheel, front brake on that bike. Also, Jim Lovell is not riding. He broke his ankle a couple of weeks ago. And so Darryl Harrison has taken over. It's the first time he's ridden this bike, and he hasn't really had that much time on it. You know, they had some problems in practice and qualifying. So they've done good just to get out there and hope for a good finish. Well, hope for a finish, basically.
So clearly the challenge is coming up in the times, but here we are now back with James McBride and Jenny Tinmouth. James McBride seems to be slowing. He's lost his second, and in fact has now lost the lead. So Jenny Tinmouth now taking the pole position with McBride second, and we'll find out who's third now. Here we are on board with Jenny Tinmouth leading the pack there. McBride second. There at the back we have the Electric Hussars with Pete Ward third and Rob Moon fourth. But McBride really coming off the pace now. He's seen coming off the ball. There may be a technical problem, or maybe he's just used up too many batteries, but he has slowed down. What's his time there, Anthony?
His time's dropped. The last lap he dropped 2 seconds, so he was three seconds even. So he was doing 108s, and now he's doing 111s. So we'll see what happens this lap round.
He's just been taken out by the Mavizen TTX02 with Pete Ward, Electric Hussars. So he seems to be falling down through the places quite rapidly now. So I think we can safely assume there must be some technical problem there. But now we're back with the leader, Jenny Tinmouth, in position 1, followed by Electric Hussars with Pete Ward, and there we are, Annie Seal there further down the field, but really putting in a very consistent series of times. showing really major improvement on her performance.
Yeah, Annie Seal come back out after going into the pit there. I don't know what happened there, but she's back on track. She's putting in 1 minute 24 was that last lap.
So we have Team Tork there representing India, doing a phenomenal job. Here we have Harry Hardy on the Lifebat machine. Lifebat, of course, is one of the factory teams. Lifebat is a leading manufacturer of batteries from Taiwan, and is now part of the TTXGP series, both as their own team, but they also supply a number of other teams. So now we're Jenny Tinmouth, and it's the finish. There we are, P1. It's Jenny Tinmouth on the Team Agni, taking her victory, followed in second place by Pete Ward on the Electric Hussars, and in third place was Rob Moon on the second Agni, and James McBride there literally out of sight of the finishers, so but still managed to keep his fourth position. And now we have Andy Seal now coming in and finishing her lap.
Yeah, that's James McBride coming across the line now. He's doing a wind-up motion like a clock. It's actually that lap time was 2:04, and the one previous to that was 1 minute 19. So he really managed to nurse it home. I don't know how he didn't manage to drop down to fifth or lower.
It would appear he's done extraordinarily well just to keep the bike going, but clearly there's some technical problem there. So as we move to the winner's circle, join us for round 4 of the TTXGP UK Championship, which will be in Brands Hatch on October 2nd and 3rd, and we'll crown our first ever British champion of electric motorcycle racing as we move forward to the next generation of motorsports.